double tapping, 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 double tapping. Fire off 2 rounds, that's right now, then focus on your beats again. If you do your breathing, please, and mind your trigger squeeze. 2 rounds will be true again, that's right now. If you shoot him in the leg, oh no, he could get up and run again. You don't want that. So fire 2 more, then another 2 more, then 2 more again. That's right now. Double tapping, 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 double tapping. Friends, I forgot my tripod, my Lord Jesus. Look, friends, we're back out of Bethlehem. Just doing a little goof off. Friends, check it out, everybody. I was just at the post, friends. I went down to the post. I had to figure out why AMVET's post has their name on the monument out here, and they ain't getting the damn job done, friends. I was very fair. Because I understand a lot of them are old timers now. There's not a lot of young folks joining the post. But look, friends, we got to get to work. Friends, every time I come out here, there's another pile. There's another. Who's writing things in here? Okay, cool. Friends, there's like folks that know that I'm out here and the Grizzly Army's out here. So there's a new pile of limbs over there, friends. It's so cool. Come on, y'all, come on. We gotta get to work. No more goofing, friends. But friends, we're back out at the Bethlehem. Oh, I'll tell you, this place is looking real swell. Look, friends, that pile was not there the other day. Somebody's come out here and scooped up some of the branches. Because, friends, this is a work in progress, friends. You just don't come out here and do a couple silly, goofy videos and weed whack and mow and call it a day, friends. That ain't how it works. Friends, we're committed, is what I'm explaining to you. And once you start one of these little projects, you are committed, friends. You are stinking committed, and we're committed. Friends, I wore my nice Field Artillery Gator Red Leg shirt. And friends, I got the Grizzly Army shirts on the way. They're on the way, friends. But friends, I went down to AMVETS Post 26 over there in Dover, Florida, and I had a nice chat with all the folks in there. And friends, they're down. They would come out this weekend, but they got their meeting. They got their little post meeting this weekend. Hold on, everybody. But you know, friends, when you go into these places, I mean, this is literally like secret society, like clubs. You just don't wander in there and just start demanding things. You got to ease in. You got to know somebody. But friends, what they don't realize is I used to hang out in all those posts. Well, 26, a little more than 44. Friends, I told you I rode around with the Nam Knights and the Desert Knights, and a lot of those guys that are still around still go to those posts. So I hate doing the name dropping, but I had to do a little name dropping. So sneakers, if you wander in there later, yeah, I left you a couple stickers, my friend. It's been a while. But I told them what we were up to, and then I went down to post 44. Friends, their name's on the plaque out here. I'm not angry, friends. I'm not angry. They just kind of forgot about it. But not any longer, because I wandered in there, and I kind of reminded them. I said, look, you know, if it ain't too much trouble, I need y'all out here to get your damn... Well, I don't want to have to... Well, friends, I'm gonna put some tape over their name if they don't want to come out here and help. And I'm just gonna write in a marker, Grizzly Army Ministries, until they come out here and help us out, friends. I told you I'm very generous. Hold on, friends. I'll be right back. Y'all stay fast. Stand fast. Oh, come on, friends. I gotta change into my field uniform. Friends, did y'all see that on the camera? Friends, literally a limb just fell in the front of the cemetery. Like, literally, I heard something that I saw it fall. So that's just more work we got to go sneak and do now. But that's okay, friends. Friends, what I'm doing is I'm enlisting the help of the local community, the local veterans organizations, the local posts, the local AMVETS. I'm sure there's an American Legion around here somewhere. I'm sure there's a VFW somewhere. Friends, I don't belong to those things. Friends, I don't know. I just ain't got the time. I ain't got the time to sit around and tell y'all all about my exploits and all the things I did in the war. Friends, I just don't got the time for that. Because I'm out here getting the job done, everybody. Friends, I'm blown away how nice this place is looking. But we're going to have to come out here, friends, when it starts raining in the summertime, we're going to have to be out here once or twice a month getting the mow job done. Because, friends, again, once you start one of these things, you can't just mow it once and say, well, look at me. I'll catch y'all later on, friends. No. Well, let's go walk around real quick before we get to work. I didn't bring my tripod, everybody, but that's okay. We'll figure something out. Now, friends, this area here, the families still come out here. And this area, we noticed, was always done real nice. Real nice. But over here and the rest of the place, just, you know, it's just been forgotten about. Yeah, look, friends, this is a tree. This is a work in progress. Now, this wasn't here the other day, and I just heard a limb fall. But somebody's been out here picking up sticks, and I tell you what, I'm gonna find out who y'all are. I'm the sergeant major of this outfit. I'm gonna find out what soldiers are out here, what grizzly soldiers are out here getting the job done. And I'm just got to do a field promotion to sergeant major. You can become a sergeant major, friend. You come out here in a work party, you go from whatever you were, the barkeep, you become a sergeant major, friends. That's just how we do it. Now, I brought my chainsaw, so we're going to do a little chainsawing in the front today. I got to get these big limbs trimmed up. But on Saturday, friends, we're doing a work party out here Saturday. Friends, if y'all want to come on out here, y'all just come on out here. Friends, what I tell you, one of my sergeant majors, they just don't know it yet. Somebody's been out here doing the work. I'm going to have a word because we're not supposed to be leaving our equipment out here. I mean, somebody could trip on that, everybody. But friends, somebody's been out here because this is their family. This is their family plot. And somebody's been out here getting the damn job done. I love it, friends.
We're going to help them out because we're going to get these headstones all nice and cleaned up. We're going to clean the headstones. Friends, when you pick something up like this, you got to make sure there ain't fire ants, scorpions. I mean, I told you, this line of work ain't for everybody. Hold on, let's just take this over here. But friends, this Saturday, May 8th, May 9th, we're going to be out here. I'll be out here a little early. We're going to be out here. We'll be all set up, hopefully by 7:30. Check this out, friends. I mean, somebody's been out here raking. There's another pile, so we got to get all these piles cleaned up. And if y'all remind me, I'll bring my leaf bucket, the shovel for the leaves. This is new, everybody. This was not here the other day. That's new. I can tell, friends. Just trust me, I know. And friends, we got a headstone. Yeah, it's still down. We got a headstone that we got to lift. So I'm gonna need some of y'all grizzly men, and even some of y'all ladies. I know some of y'all ladies could probably lift it too, because a lot of girly men out there nowadays. But I got some limbs in the front we're gonna saw up maybe today. Somebody was raking here. But friends, this place is looking real nice. This is what it's all about, you know. You just got to get out here. You do a little social media. You bring a little attention, and then people are like, oh my gosh, you know, I was the guy supposed to mow it, but that was like 10 years ago. But that's okay, everybody. You know, we all get busy. Uh-oh. Hold on there. Stand by. Let me get this flag. Friends, I haven't heard back, but I may be getting 500 flags from the East Brandon Lowe's and some of the other Lowe's. They're in talks right now with their corporate, with their higher ups. They had meetings yesterday, but they're going to be donating like 500 flags, American flags, so we can put them on all the graves. Like this Master Sergeant right here. The Master Sergeant needs a flag. I mean, the Confederate Memorial Day was last month, everyone. And somebody came out here and put all the flags, which is real cool. Uh-oh. Hold on now. Friends, I know some of y'all are still learning, but you know, a Confederate soldier is still an American soldier. Recognized by Congress, buried at Arlington National Cemetery. So friends, we're gonna get to work. I got some little more weed whacking to do over here, and I want to get all this weed whacked. How much time do I got? What time is it? I got a couple hours, and I've been resting, friends. But look, we got to get this up. We got to get this headstone up. Now I thought this was vandalism, but the man told me that he thinks it was a tree, but I don't see a tree nowhere. So friends, Saturday, we're going to clean the headstones. We're going to put some D2 on this soldier here. We're going to put a new flag on this soldier right here. And we got a little trash to pick up. We're going to pick up headstones that have fallen over. A little more trash. Interesting. Look at that, friends. It has like it's like a necklace on there. And there's a military jet or something flying over. Terrifying. Or is that Amazon? Amazon Prime. Oh, good. Maybe that's my work gloves I ordered. All right, friends, look. So we're going to get the weed whacking. I'll take y'all along as I can, but I did not bring my tripod. But we're looking real good, everybody. I'm trying to get the local post involved. I'm trying to get the local bars involved, you know, that where all the veterans like to hang out, because that's where I used to hang out. I got Lowe's. I'm just waiting for them to call me back. here's another soldier. So again, that's where the flags are going to be going. But look, friends, we got homeless out here. I don't know if they're still here. So this is a hole that a homeless. Hey, if I catch you. Yeah, that homeless. They already know I'm out here. They saw themselves on out of here. They heard the grizzly man was patrolling the area. Friends, this is why we're out here, right here. Now that flag needs to go, friends, and you know the rules. We have to retire it. But we're all going to get some new flags. So what we do is we retire these flags, because these flags don't last forever. A year at the most, 6 months, and then they start falling apart, and then they become trash. So that's why it's important to come out here. We're going to put the new flags. I don't know. That looks like some family. We'll leave that there. All right, everybody. It's time to get to work. No more goofing. No more goofing. Oh, shucks. Hold on, please. So, friends, we do retire the flags. So we take the flags home. We'll take them off the plastic, or we'll take it off the wood, the stick, and then we got a box we put them in, and then we will take them somewhere to retire. Maybe one of these posts, because they retire them there. Hold on, friends. Give me a moment. Somebody's eating sardines over here. Okay. So check it out, friends. We had like, let me think here. We had 3 volunteers up on Saturday, and that was really cool. And they told me that they had literally heard about it or found it on oh shucks, where's that? Dang it. I think I left my hearing protection at the house. Hold on, please. But the people that showed up on Saturday, this past Saturday at Sanford, they told us that they found the flyer on Facebook, which is cool. All right. So look, we'll take you along. Who's writing the comments up in here? Hold on here. I can't read that. I don't have my cheaters. Do you root for who? The Peckers. I don't know what that is. That sounds perverted, my friend. All right, friends, we got to get some tunes. Why don't you come out to my work party, then I'll show you who I root for. Hold on. So we're going to just do a little weed whacking. Friends, check it out. We're going to be in the Brandon Parade. It's going to be cool. I got to find a... So we're going to use our little bug-out trailer. That's going to be the float. Yeah, friends, I built a bug-out trailer out of an old Army trailer, friends. And it's really cool. So we're going to put the banners on the side. We're going to deck it out with American flags. And friends, I can actually stand on top of the roof. That's how I designed it. Because we were, when you bug out, you sleep on the roof of the trailer. All your stuff's in it. You're up there pulling security. So I'm going to be dressed up as the Sergeant Major Grizzlegrits, the character. But I got to find someone to drive the truck. And I'm on my family, my children, and some other children be throwing candy and beads out the back of the bed of the truck here. But I'm going to be walking around the float, and I need to get a PA speaker. It has to have a PA speaker. Typically, they don't want you using your vehicle stereo, but I guess you could. But friends, I'm going to be playing all the songs I wrote last year. The Grizzly Army, the album I wrote. It's going to be hilarious, friends, because I'm literally going to be Sergeant Major Grizzlegrits in the parade. And I'm gonna wear the same. Hey, Hillsborough County, y'all come in here. Hey, Cronkster, you and your perverted legion of DEI soldiers, I'm gonna be at the parade. And ain't nothing y'all gonna be able to do about it. I'm gonna be wearing the same outfit that I was wearing when I was protesting, y'all. That's right. But I'm not gonna have any weapons on me, friends. Not on me. That would scare the children. We don't want to scare the children, friends. But it won't be far. It won't be far, Hillsborough County Sheriff. Oh, friends, I told you, we're gonna have so much fun out there. But the way I designed my trailer, I got a ladder, so I'm gonna climb up the trailer. And I'm gonna have my binos, and I'm gonna be looking at y'all. And I'm gonna be commanding my soldiers, my children, to throw the candy at you. All right, friends, let's get some tunes on here. What shall we listen to today? What shall we listen to? Oh, that's a good one. Well, hold on here. The band is called As I Lay Dying. It's a metal band. Hold on. Uh-oh. Okay, all right, we're good. Okay, friends. Hold on now. For those of y'all just logging on, we're at the Bethlehem Cemetery. I always forget to stretch, and then I pay for it later. Oh, goodness. Hold on now. Oh, of course, it has the repeat on. Hold on. I gotta get some fuel. Fred's gas is like $4.50 now. It's horrible. I'm gonna take the line with me. I don't have to walk all the way back over here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, the echo. It was doing this the other day. Hey, Lowe's, help me out, Lowe's. I need a couple more of these. That's not good. Friends, I've just been having a day. If it ain't the damn printer not working, now it's the effing echo. Hold on, let me just, okay. It's got gas. We've pumped the primer. It did this the other day too, so I don't know. Maybe the echo's kind of getting to the end of its lifespan. I mean, you've seen what we've been using this thing with. Hey, Jessica at Lowe's, I need a hand here. I need y'all to donate me a couple of those strails. It'd be real nice of you. Then I could really get the job done. So when one goes down, I'll just pick up the other one. So I don't have to waste all this time out here. Hold on, friends. My goodness, I don't want to get angry here. I don't know why this thing ain't firing up. I'm literally starting to break a sweat just standing here. Uh-oh, this is not good. Let's just take a look at the plug. Friends, this thing always fires up, the echo. But we've been going real hard at it, real hard. All right, let's try this. It didn't, I mean, it was dirty, but it didn't look real bad. Okay. Let's just try something here. Nothing. It's like it's dead, like there ain't getting no spark at all. Maybe the switch is finally giving out. There was something. No, friends, what's going on with the echo? I got the cheap line. We used all the good line. Friends, there's a Black Hawk helicopter flying around. This part of the cemetery is the hardest one to do. It's got these big old big weeds. Garbage. It don't last. The Ace hardware, the red line works pretty good. I think it's the point 105. This is 0.105, but work it's for like doing your lawn. There we are. All right, and then we just tighten it up. There's some old graves. That man was born in 1872 over there. Nancy, we're sitting on Nancy Lewis. Thanks, Miss Lewis. She was born in 1835. She died 1913. Thanks for letting me sit on you, ma'am. What? Come on. Hold on. You got to do it the right way. So friends, I bought the Echo weed whacker at Home Depot last summer. It's been a good weed whacker. But now it's having problems starting. There we are. I don't know why. That's why I need like 3 of them. I gave a wish list to Lowe's and I hope they come through. Because we're doing a lot of good work out here. I know they're going to donate the flags. Friends, gas is $4.50 where I'm at now. Horrible. All right. No more complaining. Let's get back to work. You just can't put it back on, friends. I have an army one at the house. I need to find it. It's a good song. Let's get back to work. Hey, don't let me forget I put you on the tree. I'll be all the way home and I realize I left you here. I don't like snakes. We're getting real close. We're real close. I need more weed whack line. Everybody, this whole area looked horrible a week ago. Now you can see flags. Again, you should be able to see from one end of the cemetery to the other without no obstructions. Oh. Oh my goodness. That's a good band. Oh my goodness, friends. What a journey. What a journey. Here I am out here all alone in a cemetery. Or am I all alone? Getting the damn job done, everybody. Friends, you see that snake skin? I know there's snakes out here, friends. I don't know. Friends, I had a real bad encounter with a snake during basic training, friends. It was AIT. It was out at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. I had a rattlesnake almost bite me, friends. It's all true. I was on the land nav course. Oh my gosh, we are so almost done. I just can't, I can't believe how much work we've done in just like a week. Look, everybody, this whole area, if y'all are still here, thank y'all so much. Make sure you like and subscribe the video. That way we can get the algorithms pushed. I don't know, friends, we might be done. I'm 46, you know. I'm not the buck sergeant like I was on that first Afghan tour. But friends, this whole cemetery was overgrown. It had like, I don't know when the last time somebody's been out here. It's been a while. But we still got a lot of stuff to do. At the work party on Saturday, we got to cut all these trees down. All these trees these little bushes got to get out of here. We're gonna chop all this area down over here. We got to get in there and clean all that out. It was looking nice. I mean, friends, it was this high of weeds just a little while ago in this area. And now you can see flags. And if Lowe's comes through, friends, and I don't know why they wouldn't come through. The lady, Miss Jessica, called. She sent an email the other day asking if my timeline, because I provided her a timeline that we want to put all the flags out. And friends, Memorial Day is in less than 3 weeks, so we got to get them out. I can't wait around for someone up in corporate to approve it. We just got to get it done. So, Miss Jessica, if you're watching, just go ahead and order, and then we'll just beg for forgiveness later. Because every time I go to a American Legion post or an AMVETS post, and I tell everybody that y'all are going to be donating them, it's just everybody wants to get involved in it. So it'll give you guys some good PR, which I know y'all like the soldiers. Friends, I'm not trying to knock Home Depot, but Home Depot is pushing the diversity, equity, inclusion. And that's a no-go. That's a no-go, friend. You don't do that. And I never caught the Lowe's. I never caught y'all doing it. So y'all are still good in our book. But once we get the American flags, when y'all drive past this cemetery, people are going to be like, what in the hell is going on in that place? Because all you're going to see is like 140 American flags out here, friends. There's over 100. I think I counted 140 veterans out here a couple Saturdays ago, including the Confederate soldiers. And friends, you don't put an American flag on a Confederate veteran's grave. Just don't do it. I know we're learning. Some of us are still learning. Friends, because that's kind of the flag they were fighting against. Unfortunately, you know, that's a whole nother, that's a part of our history that was very complicated. But it wasn't that complicated, everybody. The government was doing things it shouldn't have been doing. And in the Constitution, it says that we are allowed to secede if we don't feel that the needs are being met. And that's what these folks did, you know. And they didn't, and they fought for what they thought was right. And you got to respect that. Whether you agree with it or not, friends, it was not all about slavery. That was a tiny little piece of it. In the North, friends, y'all know this. Abraham Lincoln, they all owned slaves, everybody. They all did. It's horrible. I wish our country never did that. All right, friends, we got to get back to work. We're so close to being done. I don't know. I got to leave a little bit of work for y'all for the work party. We're going to call it a day. We got to go to the truck and decon, get all this cemetery grime off of us. Let me just make sure. And friends, I need to drink some water. I haven't been drinking water out here. Okay. All right. Oh my gosh, friends, I can't tell you how much this actually feels. Friends, if you were a military person and you actually did military stuff as your job, I'm not talking the admin folks that just went to the field once a year to qual. Friends, if this was your life in the military, like it was mine, I was a forward. Our job was to go out with the infantry guys, go ahead of them, set up an middle of nowhere. And during our annual trainings, the 2 weeks, we would literally be in the field the whole 2 weeks, everybody. That's just what we did. That's what our job was. You lived in the field. You slept in the field. You ate in the field. You even pooped in the field, friends, and that was disgusting. But we need to get the flags on all the soldiers' graves. Everybody, look at this. Corporal Williams. But friends, look at the cemetery. This actually looks like a cemetery now. It doesn't look like a derelict dump. But we got to get all these leaves up over here. Somebody did dump a bunch of junk over here. Hold on, everybody. We're making our way back to the truck. But friends, when you're out here for an hour or two and you're working in the heat and you got all the dirt on you, it really reminds you of being with all your buddies, all your battle buddies in the military. Because I'm with y'all on here. We're all hanging out together. Oh my gosh, hold on. Sensitive item check, everybody. I've lost like 4 pairs of these earbuds out here. But once they come out of your ear and they hit the ground, you never find them. Oh. All right. We'll do a tick check when we get home. Hey, listen, if y'all are out here working, you got to check for ticks when you get home because they're out here, everybody. This is where they thrive, in trees like this. Oh. The worst is when you get dirt and sand that goes down your back. I mean, that's the absolute worst. Wow. But we do. We got a lot of trash. There's a lot of trash here in the back. Someone around here decided they were just going to just use this place as their little dump. But not anymore, friends. Not anymore. There's so many butterflies out here. That's one thing I notice about these cemeteries. There's just, I don't know if it's just like an open field and it ain't like homes and traffic, but it's just so many butterflies come out here. All right, hold on, everybody. We do the recovery here. We're going to go ahead and top off the gas. And I got to get some gas. And friends, I'm dreading that. It'll be $100 to fill my truck up. Hey, look, throw me a donation. For those of y'all that got money, for those of y'all that got some extra, throw us a couple bucks so I can get some fuel in the truck. I'm a 501c3. If you give me $500, I'll give you a tax write-off letter. And you can feel good about donating to the ministry. So we can go do some ministry work. All right, there we are. And friends, this stuff ain't free. This is all out of my own pocket, friends. I've gotten like 2 donations in the last year, 2. I think Mom gave me $100 and Miss Linnell gave me $50, for fuel. And I love it, friends. Thank y'all so much. But I need some more, This stuff ain't free. This is, I don't care about my time. Well, I'd be at home. I'd be at home playing Call of Duty or something, So to me, I'd rather be out here. But, however, it ain't free. The wear and tear on the truck ain't free. All right, hang on, everybody. I'm going to get in this grizzly truck. We're going to get on out of here. Oh, my goodness. I feel so filthy. It feels so good. All right, get some waters for the road. All right, everybody. Let me get the truck turned on and then we'll... hold on now. I gotta show y'all what we did today. We're gonna take a drive through the cemetery. But I gotta get all this dirt off. Friends, I gotta get an oil change on the truck. That's gonna be $120. I need some fuel. I need some donations is what I'm really saying. I need y'all to step it up. If y'all are watching, I know there's like 7 of y'all watching right now. I don't want to have to start begging. But if you go on over to the website, just mosey on over there, everybody. I got a pay link. It's so easy. It's literally, when you go to the website, if you let the browser open up, it says donate now. You click on that, you put your credit card information, friends. And if you want a tax receipt, a tax thing, just put your email in there. And I will fill out the tax donation slip and I will email it to you. And then you'll get a nice tax write-off. So you don't have to give Mr. Trumpster, you don't have to give the Trumpster any more of our money to go create some more of these wars, friends. I voted for the man 3 times. 3 times I voted for the guy to get my gas prices down and not create any more Gold Star families. Well, he couldn't do that, everybody. So now we're paying near $5 a gallon down here in Tampa Bay, friends. I'm paying $4 and change. And I friends, my light's on. It didn't even tell me how many miles I got left because I'm literally out. So friends, I don't do the politics anymore because I've learned the hard way that it don't matter. It just don't matter, friends. It don't matter who you vote for because the devil's in charge of all this. So he wants us paying the high gas prices. He wants the endless wars. But what he don't want is us getting out in the cemeteries and getting them cleaned up. Because then the families come out here and then they feel good. And then they're like, oh my gosh, Jesus, there is a Jesus. Jesus sent a man out here to clean up the cemeteries. And he did, friends. It is me. But it might be you in your neck of the woods. Or friends, come out here and take the job from me. I got like 13 cemeteries that I'm doing this for. Good, friends. That's good. That's some high quality H2O. All right, friends, let's roll. Oh my goodness. I hate these little stickers. They get on you. But they ain't gonna get on you out here, friends, because we got rid of them all. We chopped them all down. All right, friends, let's take on our nice little cemetery here. So, friends, look, this is the Bethlehem Cemetery. And we're out here in Dover, Florida, friends. It's the farming community between Brandon and Plant City. So we're gonna do a work party on Saturday because we got to get all this stuff. So we got to pick all this up. Somebody was kind enough to put it in a pile. Now we gotta I don't know, friends. Maybe we just throw it over the fence. Friends, bring your brooms because we need to broom all the debris off the good private right there. That's a U.S. Army private, friends. That's unacceptable. Now, everybody, when I came out here and we did the live stream like a week and a half ago, I was getting dark, and I don't linger in cemeteries after dark. Friends, look at all the butterflies. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Friends, when I was here that one night, I couldn't even see across the cemetery. It was just nothing but growth, weeds, and I came out here like the next day, and I just got to work. Look how nice it looks. It still needs a lot more work, but I mean, from when we first found this to now, it is night and day. Literally, you could see all the headstones. Before, you couldn't. And again, the litmus test. The litmus test of a properly maintained cemetery is you got to be able to look from one end and see the fence on the other end. And the only obstructions are going to be the trees, but the trees are all going to be trimmed up. But the only obstructions are going to be the headstones. And we're getting there. We're getting there. Now I got some limbs in the front that we got to chainsaw up, but I'm beat, friends. I'm done. We're going to call it a day. And besides, it's skate night tonight. I'm gonna try to get home and get my skate shoes on for the children, everybody. Look, friends, we gotta cut these logs up. We gotta cut them up, put them in a nice pile. But ain't it looking nice, everybody? And then in the middle over there, we got to get that tree. We got to get that big bush of tree. That's going to be gone. This is going to be gone. All those other little ones are going to be gone. Because, again, they take away from the... They take away from being able to view the cemetery from one end to the other. Friends, when you go to Arlington or Bushnell or any of these cemeteries, all you see is nothing but dress, white, glimmering in the sun headstones. They're not black. They don't have mold on them. Because we have government employees. Oh, hold on, please, friends. We pay as taxpayers. We pay people money to go out there and clean them. Wow, I tell you. All right, soldiers. We'll see you when we see you, but we'll definitely see you on Saturday. Carry on. Yeah, there's a lot of. Friends, if you got a dump trailer, I need you to bring your dump trailer. And you're going to go to the dump on your own, or you're going to take it to your property and you can just burn it. I don't know, friends. I can't be using up my property. I've already used it like 10 times this year. They're going to start catching on. But everybody, when folks and their families bury their family members, their veteran family members, when they stick, friends, even our neighbors, come on. But I'm focusing on the veterans. And as a treat, the whole cemetery gets cleaned, friends. I can't just clean my veterans' headstones. I can't just do that and then just leave everybody else. Because the veteran's in the cemetery with everybody else. And that veteran, if they were still alive, I'm sure they would want us to clean the whole cemetery, wouldn't y'all? But at the national cemeteries, they're maintained by government employees. There's somebody who's going to mow the yard, mow the cemetery. They're going to go out there once a year and spray the D2 on it, friends. And I used to work at the Bay Pines VA, and they had all 3 branches of the VA. They had the healthcare side, which I had to sue. Y'all know this. They had the benefit side, where I believe I got my 100% right out of the regional office there. And thank y'all so much. Please pay your taxes on time. My children depend on that, friends. The 100%. And then 3, we got the cemetery over there at the Bay Pines. So we used to go out there and do ceremonies. That's the voluntary service. And it always looked real nice. But in these private cemeteries, these little family cemeteries, these little church cemeteries, the family, many years ago, wanted their loved ones close by because maybe they didn't have a car. Or like some of these are hundreds of years old, 100 years old, 120 years old. There's several soldiers buried back over here that were from the Indian Wars, friends, like 1812. Friends, come on, that was like 200 years ago. And there's a man literally walking in the middle of the road. Hold on, friends, I don't want to run this guy over. He looks... I don't know, friends. I don't want to judge. But friends, these people buried their loved ones in these cemeteries many years ago, and they were being maintained and kept. But then 2026, we all got the Facebook, the live streams, and we've all forgotten, friends, even me. So somebody has to get out here and get the job done. And if y'all are up to it, I need you to log on. I need you to subscribe. If you are in the area, I need you to come out to the work parties. It ain't hard. I had the barkeep at the AmVets post. She's like, how do I become a volunteer? Is it complicated? Do I got to fill an application out? And I'm like, just thinking, get your butt there. Just show up. Show up and I'll promote you to a sergeant major. Give you a sticker. And I'll give you a block of instruction and you get to work. But friends, you get promoted afterwards. I can't just have y'all showing up there and getting promoted and then y'all just wandering off and going home. You got to at least show the Grizzly Army that you mean business. Because we mean business, friends. I didn't put up with no perversions in the VA. And friends, that was my livelihood. I stood up to these demons and it cost me my whole career. How many of y'all have done that? Raise your hand, everybody. Raise your hand if you've worked for 2 congressmen before. Raise your hand. No, you have not. Oh, you haven't. Okay. 2 congressmen. Combat friends. I told you, I'm a part of like a 0.0000 and a fraction % of the population. How many of y'all put the pronouns in your government email? How many of y'all done that? Oh, I see a lot of y'all. Friends, I didn't do none of the silly pronouns. I mean, am I a man or am I a man? I should have wrote grizzly man in there. That would have really gotten all these demons' panties tied up in the wads. Friends, I didn't do the COVID shots. I said, no way, Jose, and I love you, Jose, but I might have to fire your butt because I can't afford fuel in the grizzly truck. Jose's the lawn crew, the Mio Migo lawn crew, everybody. Friends, I mean, give me a stinking break. I'm living life to my wildest dreams. I'm having the time of my life, and I'm not making 1 cent, friends. Is that not profound? We literally overdrew our account. But it's okay, friends, because Jesus will provide everything I need. I have no worries any longer. As long as I can get on here and dress some of y'all down and motivate the rest of y'all, that's all I need, everybody. And get your butts out to the work party. Ooh, that was a buzzer eating a bag of trash. Friends, I need y'all this Saturday. We'll be out here. Come out 08. And friends, you can come. Friends, I got a doctor's appointment, believe it or not, at like 2 o'clock. So I'm going to be out of there by 1. But I need y'all out there. I need you to bring trash bags, some work gloves, bring a rake, bring a shovel. If you got a weed whacker, bring it, friends. We still got some weed whacking to do. Friends, bring a mask. Like legit, you can legit wear a mask out there, friends. I'm not talking about COVID and all you perverted liberals. I just want to make it all about you. Friends, you might need a mask because it's dirty, it's dusty. Here's my mask right here, friends. Still get graveyard grime in the mouth. Friends, bring some water. I will pick up some water. But friends, I told you I'm hurting for money right now. I might get a couple cases. That might be all we can afford. So you bring your own damn water. Now, friends, I told you I'd buy you lunch, but I just don't know, friends. I want to see how the funds look because I ain't getting no donations from none of y'all. And I need fuel in the truck to get to the work party. And then we'll worry about the lunch. What else? D2, if you don't need anyone's permission, you go on Amazon, you buy you a gallon of D2, you buy you some spray bottles from the Ace Hardware or the Home Depot. Then you put it in there. Then you write D2 on it so you don't get it all mixed up. And then you get you some scrub brushes. Friends, I'm going to have some of this stuff on hand, but I need y'all to step it up. So look, friends, I gotta go. I mean, I do, friends. I've been out in the field and I got the bubble guts kicking up. And I wasn't drinking the water, so I'm not as hydrated as I need to be. And I gotta stop and go put $100 that we don't have in the grizzly truck. So I can, oh my gosh, friends, this stop sign, it gets me every time. Quick call. So friends, I want y'all to stay groovy. I want y'all to keep logging on. And if you're new, you need to get your butt subscribed to the channel. We do a lot of funny stuff. Friends, did y'all see that video when my son put the beard oil in his hair and it just poofed up, friends? It's miracle beard oil. Don't you dare let your children mess around. I had to take the weed whacker to his hair and get him back down to, so he wouldn't be picked on at school, friends. So look, friends, we gotta go. So I need y'all to stay groovy and log on, stay in touch, friends. And I'll see you on the trail. Grizzle 6 out. Corporal Stevens in immediately. Grizzle 6 out.